What's going on, Falcon fans? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So guys, we are about 2 weeks away from the start of training camp. The rookies will show up on Tuesday. Veterans will show up a week later. And guess what? The 2023 season, it will be underway. Training camp, preseasons, game 1 in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is against the Carolina Panthers. I can't wait, and I know you can't wait either. But today, guys, we're going to talk about the offense and how the Atlanta Falcons can make this offense balance to ensure that all these guys are able to touch the ball, especially these three on the screen, because these three guys was picked in the top 10, and you have to be able to get your first round picks the ball, because when these guys touch the ball, you should see good things from this Atlanta Falcons offense. Definitely going to be talking about that today. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button, so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, the question is how can this Atlanta Falcons team get the balance that it needs to make sure that all its dynamic playmakers are able to be successful and produce like they should produce, right? Always say it's a good problem to have when you have so many playmakers, things like that. But you got to be able to figure it out. I think Arthur Smith can figure it out. Of course, it's also going to be up to our young quarterback in Des Ritter to be able to get the ball to these playmakers to make them do the things that they do well, right? So, guys, when we talking about the balance, right? The question is, how balanced was the Atlanta Falcons last season in 2022? When you look at it, they had 1,011 plays last year. 559 runs, 415 passes. That's the balance that they had last year. Wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be like 200 passes, less than how many rushes they had. But of course, you had more on the running side, and then you're going to have on the passing side. Now, there's 415 passing attempts. 115 of those came from Desmond Ritter in the last 4 games of the season. So you suspect that Desmond Ritter definitely is going to just explode that 300 attempts that Marcus Murray had in the first 13 games. You add in his 115 attempts that he had in the last 4 games, I can see Desmond Ritter having about 500 passing attempts. I think that's where we probably need to be from a passing game standpoint to be able to distribute the ball to guys like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, CP, right? Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller, Bijan, of course. You have to be able to pass the ball to those guys, because when the ball get in those guys' hand, they'll be able to make explosive plays. From a rushing standpoint, I definitely think we need to boost that number from 559 to about 600 rushing attempts, right? That will give us about 1,100 plays. So we go up from that 1,000 to 11 to about 1,100 plays. Now, if you go look at other teams in the league from last year, so I think 1,100 definitely is a good number, because you look at what the Chiefs did last season, they had 1,094 plays, right? That's about 1,100. You look at what the Bengals did, the team that has a lot of plays, that passed the ball a lot, 1,053 plays. And then you look at what the Dallas Cowboys did, another offense that's, really explosive, 1,114 plays. The Eagles, a little bit under 1,100 as well. Those are some of the best teams in the league from an offensive standpoint. So that's why I'm putting that goal about 1,100 plays for our Atlanta Falcons. So we can do that. 500 passes, 600 rushes. I think the Atlanta Falcons can definitely be where they need to be, right? Of course, one of the biggest thing is the Atlanta Falcons got to be able to put more points on the board. They only averaged 21.5 points a game last season. That's not going to be able to cut it. So when you be able to increase your number of plays by 1,100 plays, hopefully you'll be able to put more points on the board. There's no read to run plays and you can't score, right? That's got to be one of the things that we definitely have to change. I think that what's going to help that is from a defensive standpoint, we'll be able to stop the ball, get the ball back to our offense, create turnovers, get our offense short fields. We'll be able to start to create and put more points on the board. So from a defensive standpoint, I think that's really going to help the Atlanta Falcons out as well. Right, so when you're talking about the balance and trying to have the distribution between these three guys, especially these three guys, because like I said, they was picked in the top 10. They need to be able to have their touches. If you look at the distribution last year, without Bijan Robinson for the Atlanta Falcons, Tyler Algier had 210 attempts on the ground. That's one for his 1,035 yards. I think that's fine for Tyler Algier. If he could keep that number, that will be perfect. Don't want to touch what Tyler Algier does in the running game. I think he needs to have that number. Maybe a little bit more for Tyler Algier, but 210 is fine. Go to 250. That would be great. Bijan had 258 touches at the University of Texas. That was only in 12 games, of course. So his number probably need to go to about 280, maybe 300 touches. I feel like he needs to have the ball in his hand because how dynamic he is in the running game. CP had 144 attempts last year. That number needs to come down from running the ball, but I think his number from reception need to go up. He only had 21 reception last year, so I think his receiving numbers definitely go up, but his rushing attempts needs to come down probably to 100. So if that's the case, like I said, you get Bijan about 300 touches, Tyler Algier about 210. That's 500. The other the other 100 can go to CP. That's perfect, right? That's where I'm saying from a rushing attempt standpoint for our three backs. If you're talking about getting the ball to guys like Drake London, who had 72 reception last year, that number needs to go up, of course, from a reception standpoint. But we got to be able to incorporate Kyle Pitts as well. He only had 28, 26 catches last year. Of course, got injured in November, but the biggest issue was he was not able to get the ball like he needed because, the quarterback was not able to deliver the ball to him on target for most of the part. He did have 68 reception his first season with Matty Ice. So we can see that number somewhere around there, 68 to 75 receptions for Kyle Pitts. I think that would be awesome from his standpoint. Like I said, CP numbers will go up in receiving game. Drake London probably need to be over 100 receptions himself. That's where I think these guys could definitely help and be dynamic for this Atlanta Falcons team. But if you look at those 1,100 plays for the Atlanta Falcons, that's where I think the balance should be. I don't know how Arthur Smith goes out and figure out, each game, the balance. Probably is on the field, the situation of the game, how many rushes he's going to do, how many passes he's going to do. But they go out and put a game plan in from week to week to make sure they have the balance that they need. All these guys going to be featured in week to week. But for Desmond Ridder, of course, each time you call a play, there's always a number one on your read, and then on forth like that. So these guys probably would have a number one in so many different plays. They have a package for Bijan, a package for Drake, and probably a package for Kyle Pitts. But in either way, these guys got to be able to touch the ball. Having those 1,100 plays, in my opinion, will let the Atlanta Falcons be one of the most explosive offenses in the league next year. And if you add in all the other guys, besides these three is key. If these three have a good year, the Atlanta Falcons should be what we need them to be at the end. But if you add in all the other guys, like a Tyler Algier, like a Cordero Patterson, Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller, Jonnu Smith, that's going to even make it even better for this Atlanta Falcons offense. So guys, let me know about that 1,100 plays, does that fit something that you might think the Atlanta Falcons need to do? Like I said last year, 1,011 plays. They need to boost that up to about 90 more plays. Like I said, 500 pass attempts, about 600 rushing attempts. If the Atlanta Falcons do that, in my opinion, I think the Atlanta Falcons will have a successful season from an offensive standpoint. So, guys, that's all I have today. Really love to hear your opinion on this topic. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.